Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I will make this drawing while I talk to you about what, in my opinion, is the biggest mistake that most beginners make when starting to pursue the passion for drawing. The thing I'll talk about today is actually a sort of self-sabotage method that is not only applied in drawing but in many other areas of one's life. For some, it's a question of character, and for others is something that can and should be controlled. What I'm talking about is haste. It is precisely haste that very often leaves us dissatisfied with what we've done, or with nothing done at all, or with a rushed result that is not well finished, of course. By these 3 points, you can already see how haste leads us to get the opposite of what we want. It doesn't leave us happy with what we're doing, and it doesn't lead us to results to be proud of. I recognize it's not easy at all to press some sort of switch and block the sensor that activates haste to immediately become much more relaxed and calmer when drawing or doing anything else we feel as a performance. I know it cannot be done, but what can be done is trying to educate your approach to drawing and to anything else you feel like you want to do too quickly. You can try to rationalize how hurtful can haste be for your growth process. Some of my art students, especially the youngest, they text me on Instagram asking me, "Hello, what is wrong with this drawing?" And maybe they specify that it is the first drawing or one of their very first drawings at all. When I read these messages, I always say that even though I may have the time to devote to a short correction or to give some advice, I don't feel like it, because I don't find the sense in giving advice to someone who has just started out. They still have everything to learn, and trying to get the quick tip to fix a mistake is not going to help. This is a mistake that especially the younger students make because they are enthusiastic and they want to get results immediately, while the older students know that good things take time. It is easy to think that it takes 2 minutes or 10 minutes to make a nice drawing when you look at my videos or those of other artists who create a complete drawing in a few minutes on social media. But remind yourself that these videos you watch are edited, and that behind these drawings that come well at the first attempt, there are many years of study and individual practice, especially a lot of practice in solitude. Only if you ask yourself what's wrong with your work and confront your limits with conscious practice, you can really learn. Certainly, the feedback of a teacher can be revealing because the long-term experience of someone who is more competent than us allows us to notice things that we could understand by ourselves maybe after years of practice. But the feedback from a teacher is as important as your own path that you do alone, with your own head and hands in this case. Only if you try to apply a teaching by yourself on a different subject, you can learn how to be independent. For example, if you watch a drawing tutorial and learn new tricks to draw something, the best thing you can do is trying out those tricks on a different reference photo. Learning takes time, practice, and lots of failure. I'll talk about how to deal with failure in another video, but today I want to focus on the time that practice takes. When you're trying to draw something realistically, something that you've never drawn before, you need to study it to get to know how it's done. This works for an apple, a face, a building, anything really. Remember that we only see what we already know. So first of all, it's important to devote a lot of time to study, and with study I mean drawing, sketching, and taking notes. Only if you actually research with your own hands, eyes and head on the paper, you can find the way to represent something correctly. There is no shortcut to getting good at drawing, as well as for anything else. It is essential to do every single step that it is necessary for whatever you want to do, without haste, but taking all the time you need. When you find yourself dissatisfied with your work, or find out that your progress isn't as big as you wanted, just remind yourself that good things take time. If they didn't, they would not be important. Because when we do something quickly, think about it, the joy it gives us doesn't last long. It vanishes fast. Just like when you go shopping and compulsively buy 10 pairs of shoes and a week later you don't look at them anymore, or you just take them for granted like they've always been there. Instead, when we work hard to get results, when we wait and work hard to achieve something, well, when we get there, it becomes something we are really proud of and that we also want to share with others, because it gives us joy and we want others to see how good we have become and we want them to be happy with us. It really leaves a mark inside our hearts and our personality. So in theory, being in a hurry, having haste, makes no sense because it immediately projects us to the final result, and that's a bit like compulsive shopping, right? It is something that comes to an end and whose excitement doesn't last long. After we get a result, we immediately want something else, another result, something new. So in the end, what really matters and leaves a mark on us is not a single achievement, but the overall path that we went through to get it, and also the path that is waiting ahead of us. To take on and to complete a path takes a long time, maybe a lifetime, and in my opinion, it's really nice to think that we never stop learning and that everything we learn to master will always open the door for something else. It's a little sweethearted sentence, but I really believe it's true. I'll give you an example. Since I opened my Italian YouTube channel Vale su Tela, this by the way is my second channel for English speakers, I started experimenting with new techniques that I did not know before or didn't consider. I had a tendency not to experiment very much and I always used to do the same things. I focused more on the concept of the representational subject rather than the technique. And this is okay. But not experimenting at all, never, it really makes our art less rich or less creative or less in the chance of renovating itself. When we consider doing something different than what we've always done, it's like opening new doors for us and realizing that possibilities for growth are more or less infinite. We can feel small in front of them, but I want to invite you to look at this in a positive sense. When you imagine that your goals or ambitions are as the top of a mountain, you can also imagine that you can reach them through a path, step by step. Climbing requires a certain equipment, training, and strength. But slowly, step by step, we can take on these paths, and even achieving small results, in my opinion, is something to rejoice. You don't necessarily need to get to the top of every mountain you want to climb. In fact, I really believe that it is better to take many small steps forward rather than trying to take a single giant step and fall in the meantime. This takes a bit of exercise because it is not easy to appreciate the little things, or just the fact of trying something instead of being the best at it. You don't have to be the best at everything you want to do, you can just enjoy it. In my opinion, you can be excellent in one thing and good at many others, or you can be average in many things, or you can be the best in the world in just one thing and not be good at anything else. I think that, as the Latin said, in medium stat virtus, that you can translate as virtue stays in the middle. I think it's good to appreciate averageness, or at least good but not the best, because it makes us feel okay. How hard can life be if you only are happy when you're the best? It takes a bit of exercise to learn to appreciate the little things, but I think that the key to self-satisfaction is being able to recognize the value of the smallest things, the smallest achievements, and in being moved by curiosity rather than criticism. This is a trap that we all fall into every now and then. I invite you to try to enter this mentality of loving the process, the little moments that you can get out to dedicate to your passion, and be happy to have the opportunity for it, the time for it. I want to conclude this video by giving you some advice to feel less rushed to achieve a result. The first advice is to make smaller drawings. When you draw smaller drawings, you finish them in a shorter amount of time than usual, and also you put less details into it, unless you aspire to become a miniaturist. This will also help you to draw more the overall image, the main forms, and to care less about the details. So to make smaller drawings helps us with the second advice, the second exercise I want to give you today, that is to make faster and less finished drawings. To train yourself to make faster drawings, you could use a timer for 1 minute or 5 minutes maybe. It helps you to focus more on the process, on the main forms, the gesture, and mainly the present moment when you're drawing, rather than on the result. Because you know that a drawing done quickly or a sketch will not be a drawing to be proud of, a masterpiece or something to show to the world. You will feel less the performative pressure on you, and it will help you to shift the focus from the result to the present moment. And it will help you to enjoy the process a lot more. Trust me. The third piece of advice I give you is to try to draw every day. I know it's hard to be consistent. No one is gonna look at you if you actually do it every day, but my advice is just to try to be consistent, to draw daily, because this will really help you to give less importance to the moment in which you draw. Because if you draw every day, if one day is bad, you can always make up for it the day afterwards. If you have a little time, you can also just draw 10 minutes per day, half an hour per day. It's fine. Do the best you can do. Daily drawing can help you make drawing feel something that's more normal in your life, in your daily routine, and less of a performative moment where you have to give the best you have. Remember that you're trying to relax yourself, take time for yourself, and cultivate a passion that makes you feel good, that you like, and that makes you grow. So treat it as such. Take it lightly and enjoy the process, even if just for a few minutes per day. The benefit of this is that on one hand, you'll be able to be calmer when you're drawing, because if the drawing doesn't come out well, you will always have tomorrow or the day after tomorrow or next week to make up for it. But also drawing every day is a constant practice that will help you to improve a lot over time. Because as you know, consistency is one of those components that help you more than ever to improve and learn any practice. The fourth piece of advice I give you is to keep a sketchbook on which you make all of your drawings when you're starting out, or have a folder in which you insert all of your drawings as you complete them. This will help you to have a sense of unity of your path and to keep track of your progress. You'll be able to see all your drawings together in a chronological order, and you will see how much every day you have progressed, and every slight and slow improvement will be shown to you, and will also help you understand that it's normal to have good days and bad days. Some days will be better than others, and if you have a bad day, it doesn't mean you're gonna be bad forever and it's gonna be a descending parable forever and you will stop drawing because you won't be able to do it anymore. It doesn't work that way. It just happens that some days you can't draw anything good, and some other days you feel more inspired and you make works you're surprised of. trying to look at life and progress not as a straight line but as a line that goes up and down will help you not just in drawing but in other aspects of your life. Finally, the last piece of advice is you don't necessarily need to submit your drawings to your own judgment or that of others. As I told you before, submitting a drawing or a work that is still immature to a judgment risks undermining the very foundations of the creativity and spontaneity that underlie that creative process. I invite you to draw just to draw for a long period of time, trying to understand how to draw rather than trying to obtain results. And above all, try not to show your drawings so much, especially if you are at the beginning or if they're drawings you're not completely sure of. The premature judgment could worsen your haste and make you feel bad about the skill level you have at the present moment. Don't rush it. Enjoy your solitary practice and wait before showing your work to others, even on social media. But maybe we'll talk about that in another video. So this is the final result for today's drawing. I've done it with charcoal, sanguine and white charcoal on toned paper. I've also used a sepia brown pencil for this, and they're all dry pencils from Lera, but I also suggest you the brand Conte a Paris. If you like this video, please leave me a like. It really helps to grow this new YouTube channel. Seeing your support really means the world to me. And if you like this kind of videos, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see new videos every week about drawing and painting. So that's it for today. I hope to see you next week in another video. Bye!